As someone who played the original Raidou on the PS2, I very much audibly screamed when I first saw its remaster announced live during that one Nintendo Direct. Even though we already kinda predicted its existence back in this video we did shortly after Metaphor released. Hearing the iconic opening theme play as I first booted up the game took me back to fond memories. It filled me with excitement thinking of all the new fans ATLUS made over the recent years and how they can now be introduced to a face SMT has rarely shown, the action RPG genre. But now that I've played the Raidou Remastered myself, would I still recommend these new ATLUS fans to check it out? Would I recommend the people who played the original play it? Yes, and yes. Why? Let's find out. Raidou puts you in the shoes of a young devil summoner in Taisho-era Japan. After years of training in the Kuzunoha village, he earns a title that's passed down to exceptional devil summoners tasked with protecting the capital, Raidou Kuzunoha. As the 14th Raidou Kuzunoha, you're sent to the capital to work under a detective. You receive a phone call from a girl requesting your detective services, and you meet at a bridge where she reveals her request: kill me. Shortly after this shocking revelation, she is kidnapped by mysterious soldiers in red. Raidou sets out to find the missing young lady and uncover the mystery behind her circumstances and her captor's identity. The game faithfully adapts the original Raidou story. The Taisho era is an era of Japan you don't usually see in games that often, so Raidou's setting feels fairly fresh in that regard. The Taisho era is notable for its move towards modernization, increasing foreign influence, and heightened militarization. Raidou portrays this perfectly, and you can really feel the Taisho vibe as rickshaws share the streets with automobiles and trams, traditional Japanese clothing being worn alongside Western suits, and the constant presence of military personnel and foreign characters throughout the story. It's a little bit of a small detail, but you can also see that not quite modernized yet aspect of the setting in that NPCs you talk to still readily believe in paranormal phenomena like generational curses. And within that wonderful setting, we're treated to a story of mystery, twists, and conspiracy. The game provides an engaging story that leaves you following trails of breadcrumbs and red herrings as you constantly ask yourself, who done it? The reveals are well paced and will keep you on your toes throughout the story. While Raidou himself is a silent protagonist, the characters around him add a lot of flavor to the story. We usually have this image of noir detectives being hard-boiled and stoic, but Narumi is the stark contrast to that image, with his constant smart-mouthing and cheeky attitude.
ほら、ゴートちゃんも賛成にゃーんと言ってるぜ。ま、俺に猫語はわからないけどさ。
It's a pretty fresh take on the early 1900s detective. Tai, the reporter, is also a pretty good fit for the setting, as a woman trying to find her place in this society that's marching towards modernization. She's motivated by the desire to be recognized as a capable woman, which is a realistic aspiration for women, especially those who lived in the cities. Even her design alludes to this, as Tai's hairstyle was iconic at the time among young women who rejected tradition. The villain, who shall not be named, is also someone who is characteristic of the times and fits very well within the context of the setting. Overall, engaging story with very cohesive characters and themes. While Raidou calls itself a remaster, really it feels more like a remake at times. Contrast this with another game we reviewed earlier, which was also originally a PS2 game, weirdly enough, Onimusha 2 Remaster. That, I would say, was a remaster through and through. It was a game that played like a game from the PS2 era, just with slightly modernized graphics. And then we have Raidou, which has made some pretty substantial changes to so many aspects of the game. As someone who recently replayed the game, it's amazing to me how big the differences are. But before we talk about the differences between the original and the remaster, let's go over the basics. Unlike your typical turn-based SMT, Raidou is an action RPG, but much like other SMTs, you utilize the power of demons in battle, hence Devil Summoner. It's also very SMT in that enemies have weaknesses, and exploiting those weaknesses will get you the upper hand, as it will leave enemies stunned. Attacking an enemy while they're stunned allows you to deal more damage. During battle, you can recruit demons by ghost-bustering them into this tiny little tube. Demons can then be fused later on to create even stronger demons. Raidou works for a detective agency, and naturally, you'll need to do some sleuthing every now and then. But you're no ordinary detective. You're you're Kuzunoha Raidou, the 14th Devil Summoner. Here comes one of the more unique ways you utilize demons that isn't found in other SMTs. Watch me be really wrong as some really niche Japanese exclusive SMT from the 90s has the same mechanic. Anyway, each demon has a set of investigation skills that will sneakily let you affect the minds of some NPCs, since normal people can't see demons. There are a variety of ways to get your way, either through exciting NPCs so much that they spill the beans, or just straight up skipping all that and plain old reading their minds. Certain demons also have skills that are useful given the terrain, like some demons can fly to retrieve items, some demons are small and can fit through tiny spaces. All of these skills you'll need to get through the challenges and mysteries the game throws at you. Now, for the differences between the original and the remaster. Sit back because there's quite a bit. We now have more dynamic combat where Raidou can dodge, jump, and perform aerial attacks, and more varied combos, making battle more fluid. You can now summon 2 demons at once in battle, allowing you to have 2 allies with different abilities to complement each other in battle. This is balanced by the fact that in each enemy encounter, more demons can spawn at once. I'm guessing this is also now possible due to the fact that gaming machines have gotten stronger in the last, 20 years since the original. Elemental bullets are no longer a thing now that Raidou can cast elemental skills himself. This is down to preference since I think some people would prefer the elemental bullet system, but it does streamline the experience as you don't have to buy bullets now every time you run out. Raidou also now has Devil's Bane. When you knock down an opponent or when you execute a perfect dodge, a prompt will show up allowing you to execute Devil's Bane, which does more damage than a normal attack and will replenish a lot more mag. Instead of combination skills, you now have Spirit Slash, where you unleash an ultimate attack, dealing massive damage when your spirit gauge is full. And this is just for battle. We also have changes in the exploration portion of the game. You don't need to manually summon a demon to gain access to its investigation skill like Read Mind, Ignite, Cooldown, etc. A single press of a button will do it for you, streamlining that aspect of the game. Fast travel is now possible in the overworld, allowing you to quickly travel from different areas of the capital. We are also given a set of side quests that are easily viewable in the menu, and are refreshed after every episode. Unnecessary fighting is now avoidable as random encounters have been removed from the game. Speaking of random, you're now treated to the comforts of modern SMT games as RNG skill inheritance is also now a thing of the past, as you can now choose the skills you want your demons to inherit. Speaking of fusion, the Gomaden is now available at every save point, and Katana Fusion has been reworked. Boy, that's a lot. While player reception to some of these changes to the gameplay may boil down to preference, I do think a lot of these changes make Raidou a more comfortable gaming experience that takes away some of the tedium so that we can focus on the more enjoyable aspects of the game: combat, demon summoning, and sleuthing. The remaster also takes Kaneko's iconic art style and brings it to modern gaming graphics. The game presents us with fresh new models that faithfully recreate the original's design. Revamped cinematics are also introduced, breathing new life into this beloved SMT classic. They also introduced a few demon designs that weren't in the original game, like Idun, who made her first appearance in SMT5. However, the game still does show its age. I don't know if it's the devs wanting to still keep that old PS2 vibe in on purpose, but there are times when it still feels like a PS2 game visually, particularly in the backgrounds, certain areas, and some models that could have benefited from a bit more polish. Like, I feel that they could have made it look as modern as SMT5 if they really felt like it. Isn't that right, Yakumo?
Who can say?
RAIDOU Remastered also does an amazing job of remastering Shoji Meguro's incredible soundtrack. It's an absolute treat to listen to, even outside the game. Every track still hits hard, blending jazzy detective vibes with Meguro's signature flair, making the world feel alive and stylish. I could listen to Lazy Detective Agency all day. In fact, I'm listening to it now, while writing the script.
お気楽がモットーなのよ。これ以上の面倒事は勘弁し。って。
What's even more exciting is that most of the story and characters are now fully voice acted, unlike the original release. Seeing Koyasu's Narumi performance reminds me of that time he played Deadpool for that one Marvel anime.
コーヒーはカフェ。ここは探偵社。疲れた。サービス疲れるわもう本当。
The voice actors did a fantastic job bringing these characters to life, and it's genuinely satisfying to finally hear them speak after all these years. After playing this with voice acting, man, does the original game feel so empty.
探偵の
ライドウさんでしたよね。あなたが私を。
Calling it RAIDOU Remastered kinda undersells the amount of work they put into this one. Again, it feels like a whole remake with how many changes and improvements and QOL they put into this game. In my opinion, it's an amazing gateway to RAIDOU, and I'm excited for what they do for King Abaddon, because you're doing that one too, right, ATLUS? You got it, right? You're not just gonna keep us hanging with the Soulless Army, right? Anyway, enough of my yapping. We are giving RAIDOU Remastered an 88. What did you think of the RAIDOU Remaster? Did it live up to your expectations, or were there some things that you wish were left alone? Tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like if you like, subscribe for more video game reviews and other video game related content. This has been Game 8, and we'll see you in the next one.